from a health perspective. It's funny, when COVID hit, I was at the kind of the tail end of my strong Spartan training. I think I had COVID for a day. I don't know. I was healthy. I was running, 15 miles a shot, training for a big race, and about 70 miles a week. And I think it came through a house a month later when it really came out. My wife's like, I think we had COVID last month, but I didn't really feel it. Anyways, point is, there's no substitute for your own health and wellness and being strong and building up your antibodies and just, your body is such an incredible machine and work of art. I just feel like fitness is going to make a big comeback.
Oh, totally. Well, it's interesting. I'm going to get in my soapbox for a little
Yeah,
second.
please.
Nothing against COVID because it's real and certainly it's had its effect. However, the real pandemic that we're all actually experiencing, not only in the States, but actually worldwide, from a statistical perspective, that has killed more people than COVID for the last 2 years, and it's done that in a clip for the last 15 years, is the obesity pandemic. Yeah. That is the major pandemic. Half of our population here in the States are statistically obese. And, I'm not talking about the vein aspect. I'm talking about the complications, the organ complications, the heart complications. Nearly 3 million people die a year, according to the World Health Organization, from COVID, from obesity, which is more than COVID.
Yes.
And it's growing at a nearly 3% clip. It's projected right now in 10 years that nearly 60% of our population will be statistically obese, which is going to cause massive issues on our health system. So to your point, the real pandemic, again, from a statistical perspective, is the obesity pandemic. So health, wellness, to your point, like being fit, developing antibodies, is so crucial. And on top of that, not only the COVID pandemic that we just talked about, or the obesity pandemic, which is the main pandemic, but from all the people that died from COVID, the vast majority immune systems were compromised, and they are actually obese. So not only does obesity kill nearly 3 million people a year, the vast majority of people who are unfortunately killed from COVID were statistically obese. So there's a big message, there's a big trend, more health, more wellness, and certainly we're on the upward trend. So feel very confident about what these next few years will bring.
There is no arguing or dispute about obesity either. It's all around us. And to your point, and I'm really happy that you brought that up, because it's such an important factor in our lives and what's going on around us. You'll laugh at this. My kids, even though they're 6 and 8, they find themselves on YouTube watching kid shows and fun stuff like that. I'm looking over her shoulder, and there was a sugar bear from the cereal back in the 70s and 80s, if you remember Sugar Bear, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, turn this up. This funny commercial back in the day. And, he's like, Sugar Bear cereal, nutritious and delicious. And my daughter looks at me, she's 8, she goes, Daddy, how is it nutritious if it's made out of sugar? I said, well, that's what they promoted back in the day. I mean, it is not nutritious. It might be delicious, but, even at her young age, she realized, that was a crock of crap, right?
Well, that's good parenting, first and foremost, just to make sure that she's aware of that. But what I always say, it's interesting, like in the health and fitness industry, what's on the front of the box is marketing. What's on the back of the box is actually nutrition. So at the end of the day, we should all be eating less processed foods and more healthy and organic foods to begin with. But that's just a really good learning lesson for your audience. Whatever is the front of the box is marketing. The back of the box is actually what's nutrition. So please be cautious.
Yeah, if you can't grow it in your garden, maybe you should think twice about it, right?
Think twice.
Bryce, I really appreciate your time being on the show today, who you are, your stories, your transparency early on. What an incredible life you've led so far. Sounds like I need to have you back on and we can talk about nutrition and the benefits of all that, and a little bit more about health and wellness as it relates to Fit Body Bootcamp. So thank you so much. Where can people find you or find out more about what's going on there?
No, absolutely. Jim, this has been a great conversation. You're an incredible host. So thank you so much for having me on. And I trust and hope that I've provided some sort of value and touch point to your audience today. Would love to connect. All my social media handles, in addition to my website, is Real Bryce Henson. So that's all the social media tags. And then my website's realbrycehenson.com. Not to be confused with fake Bryce Henson, but that's where you can find me. I would love to connect with your audience. And obviously, anytime you want me back on, I would love the opportunity.
Right on. Well, we'll leave your contact information in the show notes. That's the show for today. Sounds like we all need to get out there and be healthy individuals. I might try to get my run in this morning. So thank you again, Bryce. Take care and be good.
Thanks, Jim.